Mothers and fathers, husbands and wives, sisters and brothers, friends for life, won't live in the past. All I wanna do now is making it last.
It's time for another conversation. Welcome to Make It Last podcast, where it's all about helping us have better relationships, not just with ourselves, with other people. I'm Noreen Daly, and with me is Ruth Yunker. Did I pronounce that correctly, Ruth?
Yes, you did.
Okay, good, good. She's an author, she's a humorist, and she writes about aging. Now, that's a term that we don't hear very often, though, Ruth. What do you mean by humorist?
Oh, well, in terms of writing and in terms of the books I write, they're usually on the funny side, not slapstick funny, just humorous, light, easy. You smile when you read it. I don't make deep, dark pronouncements or anything like that. So it's easygoing humor. I come from a very funny family. We laugh we don't laugh, but I mean, we make each other laugh. My children make me laugh. If somebody can make me laugh, I'm yours forever.
Okay. All right. Well, I guess it's a nice segue into what we're gonna talk about for this one is how can humor be incorporated into our daily lives?
Yes. Well, it was particularly during the pandemic that, everything slowed down and we were at home, which I personally like. I kind of miss that part. But anyway, yeah, I have the most fun at home. But and everyone was bemoaning it, and it was terrible, and we could all see it. And what I found so amazing about that was it was around the world, and that's the first time in my lifetime something like that happened. So people had their masks on everywhere. Everyone had the same issues, and I began writing on social media and my Facebook and Instagram accounts. Start paying attention to the little tiny things in your life that you never paid attention to before. I mean, we've heard this before, but now you could really do it. Pay attention to the daily miracles that you never even noticed before. For instance, really noticing that first sip of coffee, or what the coffee looks like in your cup, and say, oh my God, this is amazing. And it's free. And along with that, when you're doing that kind of thing, or you trip and it's like, oh, I didn't spill the milk, or, oh, yay, A+, or the baby slept through its nap, whatever the little things that you put on a blouse and you realize you've lost some weight or gained some weight, whichever way you want to go, just start noticing those things that you don't notice. And along the way of doing that kind of thing, you can't help but laugh at yourself some of the times. And like, this just infuriates me. Well, during the pandemic, it didn't matter anymore that getting to work on time by going on the freeway was what drove you insane every day. You weren't on that freeway. You weren't even in your car. And having a sense of humor has to be worked on. It doesn't come naturally. I mean, I think the world the psyche tends to think it's more important to be down about things, and it shows you're serious. I'm constantly getting in fights with women my age saying, it's just so awful the way they degrade getting older women, I don't feel like I'm heard. I just want to scream. I grew up in a big family. You had to yell to be heard. So I don't know from not being heard. I will say, hey, I'm next in line, or, get out of the way. I will. And women think that's rude. It's being heard. And then you kind of have to go away to yourself and kind of laugh about it, smile. I still say it, I have to say it to myself. All this stuff I have to say to myself. When you get up in the morning and you walk into your bathroom and you look in the mirror at your face, make yourself smile.
I like that.
I
like that.
And
I like that.
It sends that information to your brain.
How can somebody really work on incorporating humor? Because more often than not, it is used to insult rather than to build.
Coming right there.
Yeah, rather than to build relationships. So how can we help to change that for people?
Well, first of all, I've never thought of it that way, using humor as being insulting. That's kind of those backhanded slaps, you mean?
Yes,
Like,
yes.
oh, your haircut, amazing, and it really looks awful or something like that, you mean?
Mm-hmm.
So I think a lot of this is inside work. I had to stop drinking 25 years ago, and I had to, as an alcoholic, had to. My son was coming home from rehab. I had to stop drinking, and I got sober with the help of AA at the time. And
Okay.
they were the ones that slowed you in and say, look at yourself and relax. Nothing lasts longer. No mood lasts longer than 7 minutes. There's that kind of thing out there. One time I said, I'm bored. And my sponsor said to me, then sit and be bored for 7 minutes and then go make your bed or something. As you're coming clear in your head or in life in general, you begin to find yourself saying, I don't want to make my bed today. And if you are out of the mindset of thinking, this is a terrible thing, I have to make my bed every day, instead of, oh my God, either don't make the bed
Mm-hmm.
or make
Mm-hmm.
it and smile about it. But whatever you do, just stop bemoaning it.
Mm-hmm.
And it starts with yourself. Everything starts with yourself. When my children were little, I come from a big, so I was used to little kids. They ended up being a lot more work than I thought, but they would be standing there and, upset. And I was mad. And I finally said to them, why? And I stood above them. I did not get down at eye level, because you're the
Okay.
boss when you're the mother.
Okay.
And
Okay.
and you got to do that to yourself. But I'd say,
Yes.
why is mommy mad at you? Tell me, why am I mad? Well, I didn't put my shoes on. Right. That's right. So what can you do to fix that? What to keep mom? Am I making you put on your shoes for no reason? No, like that. We have to be responsible for ourselves. So I'm not sounding funny at all right now, because the other thing about being funny or being a humorist, it's hard to write funny. It's hard. It's for some reason being down and, pessimistic about everything is considered intelligent. I go to Paris a lot. My other two books are about Paris, and the French love it. They just, oh, it's the end of the world. You know how it is. It's just no good. Life is no good. And that's smart, as opposed to being a blonde who smiles a lot. But I'm also really smart.
How you've alluded to it, but the fact that you've taken this approach to life and just saying on a daily basis, let's not be as serious. How has that impacted your relationships?
Oh, well, currently I am not in a serious relationship, unless you want to count my friends, my children, my family, my animals.
No, well, right across the board, not, whether romantic or otherwise, just right across the board.
Well, they like it, especially if once they've gotten used to me, if that's sort of the thing. I mean, everyone in my particular family has said once in a while you could tone down the humor a little bit, be a little more serious. And you have to pick your moments and such, but I usually end up being friends or married to or with people who have the same mindset about humor, that finding humor to suddenly, as we're driving along in the car, one of my friends, he's very funny, very quick, driving in LA, he's driving around showing me things, and he'll say something, we'll both kind of stop and laugh together, whatever it is, off the top of my head. So I think it's a positive thing. I don't think anybody would ever say, oh, Ruth, she makes me laugh too much.
Nobody's saying that you have to be telling jokes all the time, but you just need to stop sometimes and just find something beautiful in the day. We're going to continue this conversation after a short break from more partners.
Mothers and fathers, husbands and wives, sisters and brothers, friends for life, won't live in the past. All I wanna do now is making it last.
I recently have been coached by the great Miss Noreen Daly. I own a video company. I'm also an online influencer. So I do a lot of speaking virtually and in person. She was able to point out some of my weaknesses that I didn't yet notice. And I 100% recommend Miss Noreen Daly as your coach.
Noreen Daly, redefining the way you communicate. Photography is an art. But more so, photography must come from the heart. Precious moments, priceless times. Take a pic and know it will turn out fine.
BMC Photography JA. Beautiful moments captured. Let's go.
Langdo Language Institute was created to meet your language and communication needs. All of our packages were created just for you. We are passionate about language and dedicated to your success. We offer the CSEC English program, the Study Buddy program, the Get Ahead with English program, and the Business Communication program. Contact us at 767-285-0938 or email us at langdolanguage@gmail.com, because the real question is, how can we help you?
Mothers and fathers, husbands and wives, sisters and brothers, friends for life won't live in the past. All I wanna do now is making it last.
Humor.
Mothers and fathers.
It is something that you can incorporate in your daily lives, and we're going to continue to tell you just how to do that. Welcome back. A thought just popped up in my mind, though, that somebody listening or watching this might say, if it is that I've always been seen as somebody so serious and I suddenly start to just try to just make light of things that are not as serious, they might think it is that I'm just not taking life as serious anymore. What would be your response to that?
Well, I think people are going to think what they're going to think. And you're going to have the idiots out there who go to the negative aspect of it. They never appreciate that somebody's actually changing. And I was a pretty serious kid when I was, young. I mean, it wasn't. And like I said, it's not slapstick. I mean, when I go around the house here by myself, I'm not grinning and laughing, and except for the periods of time I have to dance and stuff like that,
Mm-hmm.
and I can get down. Of course, it's learned behavior. It's learned behavior. And have a look at one's parents. Mine weren't laughers. They were, the 1940s and 50s. So they were, raising the kids, doing the thing. But my father would always bring home records of the humorists of the day, like Bob Newhart or Jonathan Winters, or, and watch the humorous shows on TV. Right now, I'm hooked on serious psychological crime dramas from Finland. There's no laughter in those. That's probably where I get my serious side.
That's interesting. That's like on another spectrum altogether. But you said a lot. But if somebody's still somewhat skeptical and saying, it's easy for you to say, Ruth, maybe because of where you are in your life at this age, at this stage, I just have so much to do. I'm juggling a lot. And yes, for some countries, the restrictions have eased. For some people still, COVID is still an issue.
Oh, yeah, here too.
I can't relate to what you're saying, Ruth. And I'm just not there yet. What is your response to somebody like that?
Well, I'm 73 years old. Wow. And I had to do tough love with my son when he was going through his drug addictions 20 years ago. Now he's a psychologist, but I had to throw him out of my life. I had people telling me to do it. And I would say to somebody like that now, when they talk to me like that, I have so little patience for that, especially if they're grown up and they feel sorry for themselves, and they want to put the fact that they feel sorry for themselves on me because I don't feel sorry for myself, or I'm happy. Do you see what I'm saying? It's like they're making themselves the victim here. And it's really, pull up your socks, baby, and figure it out. There must be something that you find, if not amusing, you find pretty. There's other things for being funny, looking for beauty in life. Really enjoying things like your food, or hugging your baby or your dog. It's not just all about verbally with the quick quip. See, so and that's a good thing for me to remember when I talk about it. Is to I'm totally big on beauty in the broadest sense. It can come on a dark alley at night, but the light's just right for a picture, or something like that. So, but yeah, I don't have, I personally don't have patience. It's because a lot of the people that read my book and relate to it or want to know about it or that I've talked to and all the rest of it they're older women like me, and they're doing the whole I feel invisible now that I'm 60 or 70, or I'm losing my looks, or whatever their situation is, they feel sorry for themselves. I can't fix that. Can you fix that?
No.
No.
So
That's really feel bad for them. No, I can't do that anymore. I've had rough enough times in my life. Everybody has. And that's another thing for people that say that, don't be careful what you're saying to someone. You don't know how much work they have or have not put into where they are now, particularly by the time you're my age.
That's
I'm pulling the age card here.
Yes, I realize. But as we're wrapping up, with all of that you said, and just to reinforce all of that you said, if you had to describe or put it in a 3-step process in terms of how to incorporate humor into our lives, what would that 3-step process be?
First thing in the morning, look in the mirror and smile at your face. Really smile at it. Look at your eyes. Don't make it a fake, make your eyes feel happy. That's the first thing I say. Then drink coffee, eat cupcakes, but no. And yeah.
Well, whatever works for people.
Yeah, wear something that you think is nice. Get some exercise. Another thing is get out the door and walk around the block. It doesn't matter what you weigh or what state. I used to send my elderly father, when I had him for the last 12 years. We lived together for the last 12 years of his life. It was wonderful. I feel so grateful I was able to see both of my parents out. But I would send him out for his walk every day. Oh, he went out and he had been a successful man. Now he was 90, and he was still, but he didn't like that walk. But I knew it would make him a better person for the rest of the day. And the third is find the things that you really love that are good for you and do them. Take a nap. Don't give up cookies. The things that pleasure you personally, give them to yourselves. Give them to yourselves first, before the husband, before the children. Take care of yourself. That way you can be good for everybody else around you. So smile at the face in the morning, get some fresh air, and then give yourself treats all day long. They don't have to be big, and they don't have to cost any money other than what it costs to get your food into the house.
Yeah.
In my case, I'm a food person.
You're a foodie. Okay. That's an excellent note to end on. Thanks so much for sharing, Ruth.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. And that's so great. I love it. I'm in California and you're in Jamaica. That's wonderful.
Yes.
I love that.
Yes. This was Make It Last podcast, where it's all about helping us to have better relationships, not just with ourselves, with other people. I'm Noreen Daly. Until next time.
Mothers and fathers, husbands and wives, sisters and brothers, friends for life won't live.